Round one came to a close, and as we can see, the straight right hand of Bernard Hopkins pushed down Calzaghe pretty early in the round. I don't know if Calzaghe was just squared up and made him go down easier, but you know, it is what it is in round one.
Saw both of them spurts of when they're in control of the fight. Calzaghe landed a good body shot in the beginning of the round. In the later round, part of the round.
Round three, it's your boy Bo Nuts here. It's a great round. I call it fairly even. Calzaghe's a little aggressive. He's opening himself up. He's letting his rounds go, and you know, he's letting his punches go. But Bernard's doing a great job of defending him, tying him up, keeping him from getting his rhythm going. So we'll see as the fight progresses how it goes.
You know, round three just came. Was it four? Round four just came to an end, and I thought that it's a pretty good round. It's doing a lot of grab assing in there, but let's be honest. I mean, right now this is Bernard Hopkins' fight. He's making Joe Calzaghe work a lot harder. He's tying him up when Joe Calzaghe's coming in. He's using the head a lot, though. I mean, but that's his whole game plan. That's what I expected from a Bernard Hopkins fight. Still, I think the most effective fighter at the end of the round was Joe Calzaghe. He threw a little bit more, but I mean, it's a toss-up. We're going to find out what the ring card, scorecards are right now in this ring, so we'll find out where we're at, how the fight stands.
Came to the conclusion of the fifth round, and I got that one for Calzaghe. I just liked him the way he was, you know, aggressively pursuing Bernard Hopkins in this round, and he landed some nice shots. But again, it was, you know, it was back and forth action. So far, good fight. The only thing I don't like is the constant holding, and I don't like the third punch from Bernard Hopkins, which is that head. If we could eliminate that, it'd be awesome, even more awesome fight. Fifth round, Calzaghe.
Alright, that was the end of round 6. That was a very great round at the end right there. Calzaghe is the more active fighter right now. Bernard is not doing such a great job right now. He's doing just a lot of holding. He threw a few punches here and there, but Calzaghe's getting his rhythm. The headbutting is really getting old, you know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man, you don't got to be a cheater, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, that last part of the round was probably the highlight of the night right now. Bernard's scared.
End of the 7th round, and I got to give it to Joe Calzaghe. Effective aggressiveness. That's what this whole round was about. He established himself. He's starting to throw the uppercut when Bernard Hopkins comes in with that head. And I mean, you know, you just got to. There's no way around it. I mean, that's Bernard Hopkins' fight. But right now in this round, it was all Joe. He's setting it up. He's trailing him. He's just catching him. He's starting to measure him up, and that's great. Just effective aggressiveness.
Okay, this round I'm kind of torn. It's the 8th round. I can see it being a 10-10 round, but I can also see a 10-9 round for Calzaghe. I mean, Calzaghe had one awesome straight left that he just landed perfectly. But you know, they were both back and forth. They both were fighting, and now Bernard Hopkins is not using his head so much, and I don't. That might be the reason why it's looking a little better for Calzaghe now. But all in all, man, this is a great fight. Hope you guys are enjoying it.
Okay, that was the end of the 9th round. Again, Joe Calzaghe is showing a little bit more dominance right now. He's taking Bernard out of his game plan. Bernard is being very elusive, expecting Joe Calzaghe to come in so he can counter, but Joe is being a little smarter fighter than Calzaghe. He's been hitting with a lot of jabs and that straight left, and it's been connecting on point. Bernard, as you see, he went back to the headbutting, charged in a few times, but the round is going to Joe.
End of the 10th round, and it looked like an Academy Award winner when Hopkins got hit on the belt line, went down, and started making a whole Zab Judah fuss in that round. But you know what? I give it to Hopkins. He came on strong afterwards, and it looked like he was trying to do a couple low blows of himself while the referee wasn't looking. But I gave that round to Hopkins, though.
End of the 11th.
This is a great round. End of the 11th round. I got this one again for Calzaghe. Calzaghe being the aggressor. And the one thing I got to say, I mean, the real big thing in this round is, what's up with Bernard Hopkins acting like a fool? And all of a sudden, everything is a low blow, everything's hurting him. He's got the winning the Academy Award and the Emmy nominee now. And then what did he got? They just circled him and pop shot him around. And then What's up with, again, Bernard Hopkins? Then after he finishes that and caught a good punch, then he tries to circle behind Cortez and then act like he wants to fight. Come on, man. Be serious.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bernard Hopkins has fallen to the defeat of his own words, and he ate tonight. I hope he's full. Who scored the fight for Bernard is on crack. I think it was just ridiculous. We had the rounds 9, Calzaghe, 3 for Bernard. Calzaghe was a more aggressive fighter. He threw the more punches like he always does. Bernard just didn't have it tonight. And that's all.
Joe Calzaghe versus Bernard Hopkins. We finally have an undisputed pound-for-pound champ that's going to now reign supreme on top of everyone. We found Joe Calzaghe winning, and despite what Bernard Hopkins says, I do feel that the public is the judge and they saw who won this fight, and that tonight was Joe Calzaghe. Like Bernard Hopkins said, he thought he was in control of the first part of the fight when Joe controlled the second part. It was just a matter of Joe controlling the last 8 rounds while he controlled the first 4.
I think at this point, you know, Bernard Hopkins is a true throwback, and he showed that. He tried to figure out Joe Calzaghe, and he had Joe Calzaghe actually fighting his fight in the beginning of the fight. But in the end, Joe Calzaghe figured out a way. He measured him, and he, effectively, with his aggression, won this fight. Whether it was a jab or some couple of straight lefts or even the hook to the bodies, that whether Bernard says he admits or does not admit that he got hurt in this fight, he did get hurt.
You know, to say that Bernard took him to school, I would say that Joe basically aced the test. He took him on the bus to school so he could teach him, and then aced his test. Basically, is how I like to put it. Yes, Bernard did have him in the first couple of rounds. You know, Joe says that he caught him with the straight. He said he was offset and knocked him down, but that he gathered himself back together. And for the next couple of rounds, Bernard, was doing his thing, had him up, fighting his fight, but Joe fought when it mattered, made it count when it mattered, got the scorecards in his favor, and is now probably going to retire as an undefeated fighter.
So this puts in now the perspective. Who should Joe Calzaghe fight and who should Bernard Hopkins? I'd love to see Bernard versus Roy to finish that rivalry that they've had all throughout the late 90s and early 2000s. And maybe we could see, the winner of the Tarver versus Chad Dawson fight now fight Joe Calzaghe and then retire as a great at 175 after cleaning up the division. So we've got many possible fights. Hopefully, not to take nothing away from Bernard. We did see it for Joe Calzaghe, but Bernard did fight a hell of a fight tonight, and I tip my hat off to him. He did great.
With 2 legendary guys who had over 20 defenses, been reigning supreme for the last 10 years each. I mean, this was a very exciting fight. I thought it was going to be somewhat of a chess match, but in the end, it turned out to be a very good fight.
And like my boy Roland said, he aced the test. And this is pound for pound boxing.
The voice of a new generation. When we pull back, no punches.